morning class. Honorable the lecturer who teaches
Academic Writing, Miss Sesmiati, MPD.
and my beloved friends. Before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Rauda. I am from English Session B. Today, I will present my proposal thesis, chapter 1 and 2, entitled The Correlation of Student Habit in Taking a Note and Their Writing Ability. Okay, next I will explain about part of introduction, that is background of the problem. In implementing learning in the class, teachers have an important role in the achieve a good learning process because the teacher is one of the main elements in education system. In learning English, teaching writing is important thing that must be done well by student because it will affect for student writing ability. In this belief, the right teaching technique will give students success of writing ability. In addition, the teaching technique used by the teachers will affect the teaching of writing student. A teacher must pay attention to each student without any differences and provide learning according to the need of student in the classroom. Teachers must also know the interests and talent of their students to develop the abilities and potential possessed by students. In the learning process, there are many activities that students can do in the class, one of which is the student habit of recording the point conveyed by the teachers. So, the author is interested of student habit in taking note with the result their writing ability. In writing this thesis proposal of chapter 1, I can describe the formulation of the problem and the purpose of the problem, namely, formulation of the problem. Is there any correlation between student habit in taking a note in the class with their writing ability? Next, purpose of the problem. In this case, to determine the levels of the correlation between student habit in taking note and their writing ability. Next, in part of the review related theories, I will explain about the definition, function, and method of taking note. Definition of taking note. Taking note is about summarizing course concepts that are understood and developed in your own. So, in taking note, you can create phrases with your own word and not be tied to word from other source. Next, function of taking note. There are two functions of taking note. First, encoding function. In encoding function, concerning the extent to which the acts of recording improve student learning of the target material, and in assessing information, taking note is superior to reading some book and even just listening to the teacher explanation. First, external truth function concern how students then attempt to learn from their notes and the impact on test performance. And in this case, taking notes produced by students can function as external struct for review and use from the futures. Okay, next methodology of taking note. There are two methodology of taking note. First, the Cornell method. The Cornell method uses dividing a sheet of paper into three sections. Face of the left for writing main topic, large, larger space on the right for jotting down notes, and space at the bottom for summarizing notes. Summarize what was written at the bottom of the page, and finally study the notes. Second, mind mapping method. Creating mind mapping is a visual diagram that allows students to organize their notes in two-dimensional structures. Create a mind mapping by writing the subject or heading in the middle of the page, then adding notes in the form of braces. Student habit in taking note. Student habit in taking note is a taking note activity that is often done by students. With this habit, make a student more detailed and orderly in writing, even though students have to be a multitasking person, and force students to do two things at once, that is, listening and writing. In listening, the writer takes the course of what is being discussed through hearing, then write the one who hear briefly and clearly. Writing. In this case, I will explain about definition, component, and principle of writing. Definition of writing. Writing is an expression, idea from the writer who are presented in writing. In learning English has four language skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In writing has all these language skill writing, which might come from listening to news, discussing some topic with a friend, and reading some book as sources in writing. Next, the component of writing. There are five components of writing, namely content, organization, vocabulary, language use, and mechanic. And in the content, writing must be clear so the reader can understand what the writer said. The content of the writing can be said to be good if it has unity and completeness. Number 2, organization. The exciting structures must be organized that includes coherence, general to specific, and chronological. And number 3, vocabulary. For good writing must use effectiveness in the use of words with connotative or figurative language, which is a written form. And number 4, language use. Use correct grammar such as a verb, noun, adverb. Adverb error in writing are much more serious because the reader has the opportunity to correct what he has read and reread. And the last one is mechanic. In this section include about capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. The punctuation must be paid attention to properly because with error in the use of punctuation mark, the reader will have difficulty understanding of the readers. In this section, the author attacked three research findings related to the author research. First, the writer discusses previous research about the influence of suggested corner note-taking method on improving writing composition skill of Jordanian EFL learner. Second, about improvement of note-taking English text with the corner format. And the last one about note-taking and learning, a summary of research. From some of the findings above show that the use of taking notes can provide evidence of a positive effect on improving student writing skill. Okay, that's all our presentation and thank you.